Hey there, gentle people. Wanted to have a conversation with you today about my whole bullet journal process. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that it has pretty much evolved throughout the years. And most recently, since the beginning of this year, I started working in this Loish term, and it's pretty much done. What I had started doing was a new Loish term every quarter, but this one actually kind of took me into June. So this one is pretty much done. What I also started using at the beginning of this year as well was this Panda planner. And the Panda planner is really cool. I mean, I literally made it all the way up to this point in here, but I still missed having the dates and this type of stuff in my regular bullet journal. So I think this is probably it for me with the Panda planner. I really like it, I really appreciate it, but again, I just have gone back to the idea of needing somewhere to consolidate everything. And remember, this whole planning process, the bullet journal, whatever method it is that you use, it has to be very personal and singular to you. So if you start something and you don't really like it, do not feel bad about switching. So I think that's it for the Panda planner for me. But what I've decided to do is incorporate some of the things that were in the Panda planner in my new bullet journal. This is going to be my new bullet journal, and it's going to be for the rest of this quarter, so pretty much July and August are what should be in here. And if I do go over into September, October, I'm not even going to stress it. And I love stickers. I have this empty space here because I'm waiting for one sticker in particular. All right, here's the deal. I've been using Loish terms for the longest while, and this is not a Loish term. I do have a new Loish term, but I decided to try this one because I saw some really good ratings about it on Amazon, and it's by a company called Minimalism Art. And what I really like is that the paper is super thick, so it's dotted. I think it's actually 110-pound weight, which, if you know Loish terms and Moleskines, this is a lot thicker than the paper in a Loish term or Moleskine, and it's a little bit smaller. If you notice, the Loish term is a typical A5, and this one is a little bit narrower, but it's actually a little higher on the top, if you notice right there. I'm not too pressed. And let's see, let's go ahead and get started. With the bullet journal, your first couple pages are your index, and I've always been just awful with indexes. I get them started and then I never finish them up. I'm going to really make an effort to work on my index. Here, I normally leave 4 pages for my index, and the tabs just travel with me. So when I start a new journal, I just switch the tabs out, and they're pretty sturdy, so they hold together very well. So first 4 pages are always the index, and then right after the index I have my future log. And we're still in June, but I already have June on a separate piece of paper, so I'm not even going to stress it. I just wanted it like this for the purpose of neatness. I didn't want like June sticking up the top and then everything else wasn't even. So we have July, August, September, which is third quarter, and October, November, December, which is the last quarter of the year. So everything concerning appointments and deadlines and anything that I have to do for the rest of the year is going to go right here. This is my morning routine, and it's pretty much wrote and memorized at this point, but I still like to have it there, just this little visual reminder. My deal with mornings is this: if you have a regular job where you have to go and work for somebody, I really feel like your mornings should be yours. Set aside a certain amount of time that completely belongs to you before you start working on anybody else's stuff, which is why my morning routine is so important to me. This one here is life goals, and sometimes you'll see it referred to as level 10 goals or level 10 life goals or something like that. But these are all the things that the ultimate goals I want to work towards. I'm going to fill those in here, right? Health and fitness, personal growth, love and romance, family, friends, spirituality, career, business, fun, recreation, service, contribution, finances, abundance, and physical environment. And these are not in order of importance by any means. And then on the opposite side of that, I have this vision creator that I got from Lavender, who does videos here on YouTube. She's really cool. And the whole gist of it is, where do I want to be in 6 months? What will I create? What does this feel like? And you pretty much write that here. And these different sections pretty much correspond with the major life goals here. So the ultimate goals for me are going to go here. And then just the things that I want to accomplish in the next 6 months are going to go here. Be, do, have is something that I've been doing in journals for years. And I got this idea from Dr. Wayne Dyer. The whole concept behind it is that people normally think that you have to have certain things in order to be a certain person and be able to do things. However, Wayne Dyer kind of flipped this whole concept on its head, and you're supposed to think about the kind of person that you want to be, and from that pretty much everything else will flow. The things that you want to do, the things that you want to have, those are going to all be a product of the kind of person you intend to be in this world. So I always start with the be and then fill in the do and the have. The 18 in 2018, this is something I started doing. Got the idea from Cara Benz, Boho Berry, a couple years ago. And whenever I get to a new point in a bullet journal, it's like, okay, what are the 18 things that you want to do for 2018? Back in 2016, it was like, okay, these are the 16 things you want to do in 2016. Last year, obviously, it was what are the 17 things you want to do in 2017. I got this from Kara's website as well, and I just basically printed the mandala on cardstock, and you just color it in whenever you have some free time. It's not like a sit down one time and get everything done kind of deal. This space right here I had left for the moon, the lunar cycle calendar, and Boho Berry has it on her website, but for some reason my printer started acting up yesterday like I'm giving up the ghost. The printer is literally 15 years old, so I'm not surprised, but that's what's supposed to go right here. And right here I'm going to have my expenses for the rest of the year. And like I said, this journal might not last me through to the next quarter. So this is something that I would probably have to repeat in the other journal. But I pretty much just list them here and the totals that I paid in the different months. And these are books that I have read. I'm going to put here for this quarter. The classes completed. And by classes, I mean classes I'm taking online, including things like Skillshare and Coursera, and the in-person classes and workshops that I'm doing, and then ideas to explore. Because what happens is I read these books and I do these classes and I get a lot of ideas. So that page is for ideas to explore. And if you notice, this is a very bare bones bullet journal. I love and appreciate all the fancy stuff and all the excitement that people do in their bullet journal. But there are times when I just don't have the space or the capacity for that. One of the things that I do like to do, though, is put stickers in there because they're colorful, they're pretty, and I don't have to spend too much time drawing or anything like that. So this is literally it's a very functional bullet journal. It's more functional than it is pretty. This is for the month of June. This is where we're getting into the nitty-gritty now. And I actually play around with the month. Sometimes I'll have it spread out on 2 pages, but I just decided to do everything in one for June, especially because we're all the way down here when I'm making this switch. So I wasn't too concerned. For June 2008, I think this was a concept that I got from the Panda Planner. So what are my goals, things that might potentially distract me? What are some big wins? And, what are the insights that I've gotten in review after going back through June 2018? This is what this week is going to look like. And we're here. We're actually on Wednesday today. So I need to fill in for Monday and Tuesday. and I just decided to do it in this format. This is a format that has been working for me for the better part of a year. No, pretty much. I've experimented with all these different ways, and that's what you should do. Try out different things and see what works for you. And this is what works for me, to be able to see everything on 2 pages. I have top 3 goals for this week and what I'm looking forward to. I get this concept, this looking forward to, I got from the Panda Planner. What are my to-dos for personal, creative, business, home, relationships? And you can switch those headings out for whatever it is that pertains to you. Gratitude, I wanted to make sure to have a little section for that there as well. So every day something, at least one thing that I'm grateful for. And I like to review at the end of the week to see, what are some things that I can commit to now to making next week better, and then what are the things that were big wins for this week. One of the things that I don't have in my planner anymore is this tracker. It just wasn't very effective for me, but I did actually, I printed one and I stuck it here just in case. I don't know, I haven't found the tracker is very effective for me personally. So that's just stuck there in the back. And then this is where the day would begin in terms of, any little notes or anything that I'm writing. My biggest concern with this one, especially the size of it, is that between the days and the months and the weeks and all this regular planning stuff, that my notes are going to kind of go overboard, because I do take a lot of notes. So I'm still kind of toying with the idea of what to do with that. But that is pretty much it in a nutshell. All right. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode. And I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.